Hi, TJ. Welcome to my channel.
Hello.
Welcome to 3 Degrees of Love Divination. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so
So
much for
how
having me.
how are you?
I'm wonderful. We are docked here in Vancouver, and I've been excitedly awaiting this chat with you, and I'm so happy that we're finally doing it.
Yes. Okay, so you know what? This is 3 Degrees of Love Divination. Everybody else knows about my channel and everything that goes on here. And one of the best things about my channel that I love is getting to meet wonderful, like-minded individuals, content creators, like any creative mind, and how that all fits into spirituality, for mental health, for wellness, and just for love in general. Because as far as I'm concerned, we are all love. We're all deserving of love. We're made up of the same substance. I mean, mind you, we have our variations, right? And diversity is a much welcome thing because we learn so much by being so diverse. But it's just that, you know, when people have this very illuminating essence in the way that they operate in life, the what they create and want to put out and stuff like that, I gravitate like towards that, like very easily, like a moth to a flame, like whoop. Or rather, like I like to say, because I realize that in some ways my feelings, as I've been doing self discovery and things like that, my feelings, and I call them piggies because they're just, I'm like, they're cute. And if you've ever seen like actual pigs and the way that they operate, and piggies, especially like the piglets and babies, they're very affectionate, and they're very sly, and they have this like this sort of sassiness to them that is just like, and they're, and like I said, they're very affectionate. And that is one of the things that I really love about piggies and stuff like that. And they have this thing that the zoomies, because they have this sort of moments of hyperactivity where they're just, and they have to like get it out of their system, right? So anyway, so I realized that that's me. That's my personality on the inside. Like, my feelings are like piggies, and they're there, and they're quirky, and whatever. So, and I talk about them all the time, like I am right now. But anyways, yeah, and but it's just, and I just love it. And so I look at other people who light up my life, who, such as yourself and anybody that I've met. It's like, to me, it's like they're the real life versions on the outside of the piggies that I picture in my head, except they're not. We're human beings. We're not pigs, but like, right? Like, I mean, it's the cuteness of it, and you are just adorable, even getting to finally meet you in person. um and like, well, not quite in person, but I mean face to face, I should say, right? And so I'm gonna shut up now. Piggies, please, just let's swoosh, because we want to hear from you. We want to know all about you and how you as a person came to be, and even your creativity. Share more about yourself, and even talk about the fact that you're on a boat. Like, what's up with that?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I just first off want to say thank you so much for the light that you spread. I mean, because we haven't met in person yet, this is a really beautiful opportunity to meet. You've spread a lot of like happiness and joy through your memes or your very, very kind messages on Instagram. It's been a beautiful part of my days looking in my Instagram and seeing the love and light that you spread, and especially with your channel as well. I just want to say thank you for, supporting in my project as well. My creation of my Oracle deck, Thoughtful Journey, was exactly what you were saying, like made with love to spread love. So the fact that you really see that and really want to share that, yes, I'm so grateful for that. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. And such an amazing deck. So, yeah, so please tell me, what are you up to? What's your life like?
Okay.
How do you navigate your days, and how does all of that fit into you navigating and maintaining the wellness of your mental health?
Yes. So for me right now, I've been really blessed, and I think it's been part of why I'm on this earth right now is just to dance through life. I've had such a passion for dance since the moment that I took my first dance class, and that has driven me through life. I've learned a lot of life lessons through dance, and I've had this beautiful opportunity to go around the world doing what I love to do every single day. And how the Thoughtful Journey Oracle cards came about was when, life came to a halt with COVID. Everybody was kind of figuring out life in that way. And for me at that time, meditating every morning and using different decks, like Oracle decks in the morning and doing my gratitude in the morning was sort of the way that I always set myself up for my performances in the evening or for my rehearsals. So that had always been part of my practice for probably 10 plus years. And then when COVID hit, the stages closed down for a while. I mean, everybody's lives went up and changed a lot. And I thought that that would be a perfect opportunity to use my talents and my love for dance, and spread love through this deck called Thoughtful Journey. Yeah.
And what an amazing day. So, as you talk about dance, and
Mhm.
now this is another thing that I think on another level has made me my piggies gravitate towards you even more is because and I it's too bad I'm not wearing it today and I didn't even think about it. But I have a necklace with a pendant of a ballerina on it that was given to me like years like since childhood, and I still have it. I still wear it from time to time. um but talk more about your dance, like your experience in dance. What kind of dance do you do, and how did you get into that?
Yes. Okay, so primarily I grew up training in classical ballet. That is the dance form that I love with all of my heart, and I think that has opened many different doors for me in the performing world. So I trained pretty vigorously in classical ballet when I was young and a teenager. I went away to ballet school at the Kirov Academy of Ballet in Washington, D.C. when I was 17. And from there, that wonderful year of hard training opened many doors from there. So I've danced with Ballet York in Canada. I've worked for a children's musical theater company in Canada called Koba Entertainment. I then moved across seas to Macau, China, which is close to Hong Kong, and I was part of a Cirque du Soleil or a Dragon show called The House of Dancing Water there. And now life has taken me on this boat on the water, and I am working for Disney Cruise Lines here. So there's been a lot of joy, and I find that I can express myself easily, and I find a lot of love using the talents that I have to share with the audience members. Oftentimes, audience members watch these shows, they want to be wowed, or they want to escape for a moment, or they just want to see the beauty of an art form. And I feel really blessed that I'm able to share that with all the audience members that choose to come and watch our shows.
Yes, I love that. And it's so now it takes me to another part. And see, this is because even we were talking before this, and you were like, "What are the questions?" And da, 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 da. And I was like, "I don't really have a structure because I like to like let it be organic." And this is
Yeah.
exactly why. Because I can tell you right now, there's no way I would have been able to come up with these questions. Because my next question for you,
Okay.
and just sort of or leading from a thought as well, is this is also why I feel like the idea of spirituality, mental health, the art form, because you know tarot oracle decks, they're pictures, they're pieces of art, right? And taking your deck for example, like these are beautiful pieces of art. Like I connected with this deck right away, and the thing is, and I only flipped through maybe a couple of cards because I didn't want to spoil it for myself.
Yes.
Like I wanted this also to be a discovery together on the cards. But like if you, and I sent you the clip, but like for my last video, right, when I started to show the deck, and I started sort of like, you know, going over the image on the box, and it's a dancer, and immediately connected with that because in my heart, I'm a dancer. I did ballet, I did jazz, I did tap growing up. My life sort of took a weird sort of journey, and I ended up moving to live with my dad. And as I did that, I ended up, because my mom is the one who put me in dance. I was always dancing. Dirty Dancing was always one of my favorite things. Movies, and always mimicking the dance moves. I used to make up dances with my cousin and perform them with her. I was like the bass, and she would be like and I would be like spinning her around and do all kinds of stuff. We did that throughout our childhood until, well, she was too big for me to lift her because I couldn't lift her anymore, right? Like we were like, so I was like, well, we're like the same size, and I realized I could no longer lift her. I was like, wow, okay. So that was what we kind of like sort of put that on the, and then our lives, we grew up and our lives sort of took separate ways and whatever. But, those were the kinds of things that I did. And along the way, I did, like in high school, tried to go back to get back into it, but it wasn't the same. I lost. It became more of a sort of competitive sort of thing, and my heart wasn't in it in that regard. And I
Yeah.
feel because it was because I lost so much time away. Like when I quit ballet, I was one level shy of reaching point. So I had actually uh, point. I actually bought point shoes,
Okay.
and even though I wasn't, and thought I was going to take it off even on my own, but then that sort of like that again fell by the wayside. Whatever. I still have my point shoes, but I mean, I never got to wear them. I never got to train in them, but it's still something, it's still an art form that I absolutely still love. And I admire anybody who does it, who can do it. Like one of my favorite movies is Center Stage,
Yes. Yes.
and things like that. But the whole premise of that is because of the art form, and art imitates life and life imitates art. And art is a big part of therapy in a lot of practices.
Yes.
So why it's not that far fetched to bring it with and sort of combine that with tarot and oracles and things like that. And as we do that, we connect other aspects of art form together too, because that inspired me to start, which was, also inspired by another friend, another creator on YouTube who did. Her name is Ange. Her channel is Roots and Waves Divination, and she did earlier this year lyrical live stream. So we were connecting music to the messages, right, with the cards. But that inspired me to create music and tarot, and I was like, I'm gonna do picking songs that remind me of the major arcana right through the and hopefully do like a series of all the cards with songs,
Yes.
right through the entire deck. But why I love your deck again is because, like I said, you are creating and a deck that combines many different forms of art,
Yes.
and and the one biggest thing is the dance, and I
Yes.
love dance.
Thank
And
you.
so, you know I was going to ask you, how did you come up with the idea for to have dancers in your thing? But I mean, that's a bit of a stupid question because you're a dancer. Duh. That
It's
is the
not a
whole.
stupid question at all, and I think I really love listening to you speak because I could see the emotion of you kind of going back to those days when you found so much joy in dance. And I think sometimes we are told that we must train when we're younger, it's competitive when you're younger, but now that I've sort of had a career in dance and been very blessed to go professional with it, I feel like but if anyone loves to dance, there is a place to dance. It doesn't have to be in such a professional way. If you love ballet, there are adult classes that you can find for ballet. If you love to just twirl, go to the park and twirl. And I think that that is basically, why I've created my deck, is because I want everybody to find their own dance through life, their own reason to dance for life. And I hope that these cards bring joy, that they want to twirl, that they want to kick their leg, they want to do their little two-step. So I feel like dance brings a lot of joy to anyone, whether it's on a professional level or not. And that is part of the reason why I've created the deck, is I want everyone to find their dance through life.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's it reminds me of the idea, another wonderful Drea Bloom, who's a psychotherapist, and I had her on my channel as well, talking about her books and tarot activity and stuff like that. It really just down this path of combining divination with therapy practices, right? And one of her books is called oh my god, now all of a sudden I just lost the name. Um oh my, what is it called? Okay,
It's right on
anyways,
the tip of your
it's
tongue.
all of a sudden it just lost me. But everyone has a story. That's
Yes.
yes, that's the book, and I will have it up on screen. But it's everyone has a story, and it's about going through the understanding the layers of tarot and the hero's journey, and how we can use that to map out our own journeys, and the understanding that we all have a different path,
Yes.
right? And so, but that dancing on your path is another wonderful way to go about life, right?
Mhm.
And just easing into life in this one with spirit, just allowing spirit to move you in the way that you need to be moved,
Yeah.
and allowing that to be for the highest and greatest good of all, right? And starting with self, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so I want to go through your deck because
Sure.
like
Yes.
I mean, I'm excited to talk to you, like I said, but
Yeah.
this deck is just so beautiful.
Thank
um
you.
and I still have it in order. So of course the first card is clarity.
Yes.
And just just the way that the dancer is positioned, and even the way, like this, like, you have the sunset, you have the birds. Now, what art, like the background, what would you
Yes.
say inspired that?
So it's a kind of a wonderful story, in the sense that during COVID, I was in Macau, China, and we were, secluded and everything. And I just hashtag Googled, or actually on Instagram, I put hashtag watercolor ballerina. And I knew that that was sort of the whimsical feel of art that I wanted for this deck. I had completed all the writing, and a beautiful piece of art popped up when I took a search for this, and I contacted Carrie Slack. She is my artist for this deck. And, I kind of told her what my vision was, and she had no idea what Oracle cards were, but we got on the Zoom, we had a meeting, and she was really excited about this project. So she's taken my professional photos through my career, and then she's taken a look at what I've written for the Oracle cards, and then she's kind of combined that together. So this is Carrie Slack's
Ooh.
vision. So she took a photo that kind of looked like it was a dancer moving to find clarity. And then she took the writing that I've written in the book here, and she's kind of collided that. She is brilliant, and definitely taken this Oracle deck to the next level with her artwork. So we've actually still never met, because she's from the UK. And we have created this deck together sort of online, and it's beautiful. We were strangers that have now become friends and collaborators, and
Oh
I'm so
wow,
grateful for her work. She's amazing. Yeah.
that's
So in
amazing.
answering your question, I believe that this dancer has sort of woken up, ready to take on the day. There's sort of the mist in the background. She's looking for her clarity. But then there's her friend, the fox and the bird, kind of guiding her on the path towards the sunlight where the mist is going to be clear. And that's going to be the clarity that she needs on her journey. That's sort
And
of,
that's beautiful. That is
yeah.
absolutely beautiful. So like I mean, I know this is like and that you have so you have the the key word and it's all words pretty much, right? Like it's all yes.
Yes.
There's no like it's not like a little synopsis or a bunch of words. It's just one word on the card to describe the card, and then you have the write up in the guidebook, but
Yeah.
they're all numbered as well.
Yes.
um so of course with clarity, so I want to read the clarity, because as you talk about the writing, and you said that the writing was done first.
Yes.
So and the guidebook is very beautiful too. We have um some quotes: believe in yourself, love yourself, and trust yourself. That is my wish for you. I
Mhm.
love that. Our table of contents. We have your intro, guidebook instructions, getting started, card readings. You do have a 3 card spread. I love the number 3. That's my life path number. That started the channel number. 3 is a big thing. So, anyways, and then yeah, understanding your cards, but then card messages. Now you are ready to begin. Trust your heart, believe in the signs, and always have faith in the feelings deep inside your soul. Your thoughtful journey begins now. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. So okay, so now we're at clarity.
Mhm.
So clarity, card 1. As you gaze through a misty valley, you can never clearly see the magic that awaits you on the other side. Once the morning mist clears, the view is breathtaking. Beauty is exploding in every corner. Nature is blossoming with the sun, and there are many different paths for you to explore. Having a clear intention of your desire. Okay. That was weird. The light started flickering, so I was like, "What's happening? Power, do not go out," because it went out last night. So like, and
Okay.
I was in the middle of cooking, like the stove was on when I was cooking rice, and all of a sudden the power went out, and I'm like,
Oh
hello."
no. The message. They want you to hear the message.
So okay, so wait, where was I? Okay, uh, hold on.
It's
Do you
okay.
remember where I was? Because now I don't remember
Beauty
where.
is exploding in every corner. Nature is blossoming with the sun. And there are many different paths for you to explore.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Having a clear intention of your desires will allow, thank you, will allow the universe to conspire and help to make your deepest aspirations happen. You have drawn this card of clarity to encourage you to take a moment to close your eyes and see what is inside your soul. Quietly sit and listen to what your heart is saying. Is your path misty or full of sunlight? Are you fearful of taking another path? Are you walking blindly through the fog because it is easier than making a change of direction? There is no better moment than now to define how you truly imagine your life to be. Even making one small change in your thoughts or daily interactions can illuminate a path you may never have seen before. Trust in the universe, and you will begin to see your path unclouded. And then we have an asterisk. The dancer seems to be on a path filled with swirling fog and dancing mist. The sunrise awaits her through the haze, and her trusted woodland friends, Fox and Bird, are there to help guide her on her journey towards clarity. I love that. That is absolutely beautiful.
Thank
That
you.
is so, so beautiful.
Thank you.
And it's a full page write up that you have for every single card. And then you even have, so you even have like a bit of a descriptor of the dancer, of the image at the bottom.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
yours, or is that was that your artist that did that part?
So I did all of the writing, and
Okay.
what was really cool was to see how the project sort of unfolded. So like I had mentioned before, I had already done the writing of how I envisioned the deck to be, and then we sort of collaborated on the different images that she would use for each card. But then once the final artwork was done, that's when I went back and sort of wrote a little description about the card so we could sort of tie it together, because I thought a lot of
Okay.
beauty came from her art, a lot of things I couldn't even imagine that she added to the card that I did want to add to the writing, which has been really, really exciting, I think.
Yes. And
Yeah.
it's beautiful. And one thing that I wanted to make mention again, because I did mention it when I introduced the deck in my previous video, but I don't think I mentioned it in our video. But you are a fellow Canadian. We are both Canadian. We both
Yes.
live in the same province. Well,
Yes.
not you right now technically, because you're all over the place on a
Yes.
boat. Um, but yeah, but initially we're both Canadian. So
Yes.
this deck was created in Canada,
Yes, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm
printed in
Canadian
Canada.
and my roots are here. But I think it's also been beautiful for the diversity of like sort of everyone that's been able to help me create it. There's no way I could have done this myself, between, having some dear friends from all over the world sort of help edit the writing, with my artist in the UK, with living in China, having the help over there, so it's just been beautiful. This deck was created with the intention of love, and every person who's been a part of it, who's held a deck, who's been interested in my deck, has always had such loving feelings towards it. So I just hope to keep spreading this deck of love everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to just before we go on, I want to just say how I came across it. So
Yes.
as for me, as I've been on this new path for myself and this journey, and finally sort of envisioning what I want for myself and my business, and mental health care and stuff like that, and registering my business, um and but then finding a supplier. And so I found a supplier that locally, where I can get decks and
Nice.
stuff like that, which is actually not that far away from where I live, so I can drive to their warehouse and whatever. And so it was like the I think the first visit that I went there.
Okay.
The first visit I went there, I um your deck was sitting like as soon as you walk in the door, they where their front desk was and whatever, it was sitting plop right, just right there. And I saw it and
Wow.
I was like, ooh, what is that? Like it's like Piggy saw it and was like, ooh, shiny, what is that? What is that? And was like, let me see. And so of course my inquisitive mind was like, can I see that deck? And then
Yeah.
they were telling me all about it. It was like, oh well, this is a public, we were trying to get them, to carry the stuff, but unfortunately, because supplier and getting the deck from them, but then we still have to have a little bit of an overhead, so it just wasn't working out, and we couldn't. Da, da,
Yes.
da, da, and I was like, oh, that sucked. But they're like, everybody in there, at the time, the woman that was there, she was like, yeah, we all love this deck and we all really wanted to carry it, but unfortunately it just financially wasn't going to work out. And I was like, oh, I was like, but I want the deck. So like as soon as I started, like as soon as like they gave it to me, I started flipping through the cards a little bit, and I was like, um yeah. So
Yeah.
I kept, and so it took a while. Like I went back a few times and kept
Mhm.
seeing the deck, and I'm like, okay, I need this deck. How do I get it? So they gave me your information, and then I started looking for you, and then I was like, like it was like. And then we worked it out, but you had been on a boat, and so
Yes.
like there was, right, but then finally, and I couldn't be any more happy and just grateful to have this deck, and just
That
the
means so
immediate
much to me.
connection I
Thank
feel
you.
like I've had to it. And then of course now to realize that when I took a closer look and then saw that it was ballerinas and dancers, that was even more of a bigger connection, because this is my entire childhood. This is what
Yes.
I had envisioned for myself at the
Yes.
time, never really pursued, but it's still very much embedded in me, and it's still something that I very much enjoy. So this was just another way that connect all of that for me.
Yes.
But so clarity, and we talked about that, but I love balance. Like this is another beautiful, ballerina here. And then it reminds me we have forgive.
Number three, your favorite. Number
Yes,
three.
yeah, forgive, number three. Yeah, and that forgiveness is a big part of that for me on this journey. The idea of being able to forgive ourselves for the missteps and mistakes along the way. They're all learning lessons, right?
Yes.
We don't know, as when we come into this world and we come fresh and we're like a blank canvas, you know
Yes.
everything that we experience is what paints the picture, both the good
Yes.
and bad, right? Like
Yes.
you take all of it and you make it yours.
Yes.
And so, and part of that journey is forgiveness. Have
Yes. Very much so.
and being able to forgive yourself and other people, because we're all perfectly imperfect human
Yes.
beings. No one is perfect. We're all this is and it was just the other day. I remember I had a moment, and I was reflecting on stuff, and I was like, um I asked just, the universe, God, spirit, um when do we stop learning? Never.
Never.
To the
Never.
day you die. Like that
Yeah.
was the answer. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Thanks. So basically never is what you're saying. Yeah, right. But like, and that was the thing. And so that's why grace and forgiveness is so important for us, because when we can't forgive, the way that our choices that we then make, right, is a reflection of that, right, and a counter action to what
Yes.
we've been through. But
Yes.
that counteraction may not always be the best choice, because
Yes.
we're either traumatizing ourselves or traumatizing somebody else, and we're just repeating that same cycle of karmic loop, right?
Yeah.
So that's why forgiveness is so important. So I love that. We have intuition for number 4. We have patience. Um, moving on.
Mhm.
And I love this one, gratitude.
Thank you. Yes.
This, right?
Her heart is
Absolutely.
open, ready to receive. There's light
Exactly.
around her. Yes.
Yes. We have, it doesn't matter. I'm going to shuffle it anyways. Freedom,
Yes.
wish,
Yes.
and 10, heal.
Yes. There she's
And
breaking away from the poison ivy that's kind of got hold of her, and she's doing this beautiful leap to break free and find
yes,
her way again.
and
Yes.
I'm born on the 10th.
Oh,
So
wow. There you
I,
go.
I I'm a 10th. Yes.
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 Amazing. I'm so excited for you to kind of shuffle and connect with the deck, and I would absolutely love to, hear about your readings. Maybe we could do a part 2 about this.
Yes. I
I
didn't
would
even realize
absolutely
it. Oh
love
my
that.
God.
I'm so sorry my time is limited. I just
I
have a
know. That's
rehearsal I have to run
okay. This
through.
was
I feel like we
beautiful
could
though.
talk for hours, but I just want to say thank you for sprinkling so much love on my deck and for sharing my deck. And I would love to see how you shuffle and read and what messages come up to you in the future, and maybe we could do a part two if that works for you.
Yes, I would absolutely love that. But I can't believe how quickly the time has
Time
gone. Like,
flies,
because like I
gone.
said, like this conversation was just so wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
I wanted to be able to read with you as well, but there was just so much that I was just like, so yeah, and I actually yes, I would love for us to do a part two. And that way, yes, to shuffle and even read together. Maybe that's what we
Amazing.
could do the next time. We'll come in. We can go through the deck fully. I'm probably gonna do a separate video myself, anyways, and I'll go through the entire deck. But even just to be able to read, for the collective together with the cards,
Yeah, and I would love
I
to see
think
how
would
the
be
dancers sort of make you feel. I have a certain way that I read the cards, but it would be amazing to see someone who has so much joy and already was a dancer in their early life, how that would be. But I want to say
yeah.
thank you so much. You are a beautiful spirited human. You spread a lot of love early in my day because it's 8 a.m. here in Vancouver, and I just want to say I'm gonna have a beautiful rehearsal because I feel so much love in my heart. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes,
Bye
thank
for
you so
now.
much. Thank you for
Bye.
joining me. And
Bye.
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elena. Bye.